Took this trade in G period when we pulled back. You can see we were trading in that main part of the node. And I kind of thought that if we pulled back to the top of that node and bounced out of there like we are right now, that there's a good chance that we're going to try to move higher. And I was thinking that if we did try to move higher, that 5100 would be my main target, where I thought they would try to take it. And that would also be the 100% of the initial balance. This trade's sped way up. It took over 2 hours to complete this trade. So you're going to see it in it's still going to be about 15 minutes. I'm not going to talk a lot because I actually didn't sit here for a lot of the trade. I just wanted to be able to upload this so I could watch it later and, see what I did right and see what I did wrong. A lot of the slow grind trades, I'm not very good at those because they just go on and on and on and on. I keep expecting it to come back on me. And I thought this was going to be one of those, and it did turn out to be that. So I wanted to have this on there so that I could go back and look at it. So like I was saying, you can see where we were, from basically the CD low all the way up there to the CD high. We were kind of ranging there. B was ranging back and forth. C and D. F was a pretty good entry there. So I took some short trades, from B to F. I took some short trades to the upside. And like I said, I seen this G kind of, coming back into that main node. And I just took a shot at it that if it bounced out of there, like I said, we'd probably try to go higher. If it would have fell back in there, it would have been a small risk. So here, I'm definitely feeling like I'm right. We're already at our 27 ticks. I'm just using the 27 and the 40 as markers. I like to look at those so I can see quickly where I'm at. Here the H period opens, and to me that presents an opportunity to buy if we close those singles on the G period. So I do enter a couple more contracts when it pulls back. So I figured that would be a trade that I would normally take. And this is a little bit out of the norm for what I would normally do. I would normally take these trades individually. In these types of days, I would normally trade in pieces. So I wanted to give this a shot because I thought this would, something to work towards. So my overall concept was that I was, we're going to 5,100. So anything I did in between there should be geared towards heading to that 5,100. So when I seen this setup here, I think it's soon H period pulls back. So these would be my normal targets. I would have taken one at that 27. I would have taken one, since we got so close to that 40. I was trying to keep that bigger concept in my mind about getting to that 5,100. And right here, as this H period pulls back, enter more contracts. I figure I'll take the profit on those just kind of, along the way instead of having to hold that one, or I'm not going to hold all three of them all the way. that gives me a chance to take some off and kind of relieve some of the stress of, I guess, holding that, holding one the entire distance. It's kind of a trade within a trade, I suppose. You can see I set the alerts. So somewhere in here, I grabbed the dog and went for a walk just to get away from the computer so I wasn't messing with it and, you know, trying to figure out reasons to close it basically. So for a lot of this, I wasn't sitting here, looking at it. So that definitely benefited me. I'm trying to stretch into taking longer trades like this when I see the bigger concepts. So with Quantower, you can set these alerts and they'll come to your phone. I was actually out walking and got this alert that we hit this level. The same thing, when some over this 40 ticks, normally there's no way I would give that back. And sometimes that hurts me. And sometimes, that helps, a lot of times the ES will pull back even on this trade. I'm surprised that the ES didn't pull back and take back more of this. Not that it wasn't going to go where I thought it was going to go, but a lot of times it'll, pull back a lot more than this. And so I thought having those other contracts, kind of that trade within the trade would allow me to, capture some profit and not feel so stressed about it. So obviously I'm back here. I took my profit there on the two extra contracts. This one gets up to about, I think we get to 95. And I start to feel like, am I just trying to be right and getting to the 100? Because I have a target at 98, but 98 is nothing like compared to 95 being that even nice, even number that everybody's going to be looking at. Am I being a little too greedy trying to go for 98? Because I'm anticipating that people are going to want to, you know, people are going to, front run that 100. And I want to be out of it before we get to the 100. So I'm risking at that point, I'm risking, 10 points to make 3 more points. And I can't decide if I'm just trying to be right or if I'm trading it correctly. And at a certain point here, so right there, we hit the 95, it starts to pull back. And that's when I start thinking, if I give back, at this point, collectively, this whole trade was about 64 ticks. So, if I start to give that back, it's going to feel pretty painful. And like I said, am I just being greedy, trying to go for that extra 3 points there? And I end up just closing it up here. Then we get back to 94.50 and I close it back, which is about 43 ticks on this contract. And of course, in ES fashion, it does push up there goes right to the 100 after I close it. Actually, even on the bounce that I got out of it, it goes right to the 100, blows right through the 98. And at this point, we're up to 51.7. But I still feel like it was a good trade. And definitely, as far as being able to hold it, this trade, like I said, took over 2 hours. And, I was going for that bigger concept. So I feel like it was a win in that sense for sure. Here's where that's pulling back from that 95. I'm really, like I said, I'm really trying to weigh if the extra 3 points to that 98 is really worth it. Somewhere in here, I close it. Right there, I close it. And that was about 94.50. So that entire trade was about 64 ticks.